In this video you will learn what is ECMAScript 6 map and how it compares to the object. So typically inside JavaScript we're using objects a lot simply to store some data inside. For example, let's say that we want to create an object and just inside brackets we're creating a property foo and a property bar. If we want to read a value from the object, we can simply write object.foo and it is available for us. If the property might be undefined, we can write here question mark and read the property that we need to. This code is extremely simple to support. This is why the question is, do we need map at all and what benefits it has? So how we can create a map? In order to do that, we're calling new map and inside we're providing an array of arrays. And here we can provide a key as a first argument and a value as a second argument. And exactly the same we can do here with bar. Essentially, this is not an array of arrays, this is an array of key value pairs. It looks kind of similar, but the question is how we can read from the map. And in order to do that, we have a get function where inside we're providing a key, for example foo. As you can see in browser, we're getting the value just like with object. So the question now what we should use. The first point, it is important to remember that objects inside JavaScript are supporting object-oriented programming, which actually means they have prototype inside and lots of additional properties. Inside the map, we don't have all this stuff, this is simply to store some data inside. Second important point, inside objects, keys can only be strings. Inside maps, key can be whatever. For example, here we can say that our key is a number, for example 1, and the value is 1 as a string. Now here I can get a value of the key 1. As you can see in browser, we're getting 1, which actually means the difference is that inside map, key can be whatever. It can be a number, a string, an object, or even a function. Next important difference is that objects don't have any order, which actually means you can't really sort them by indexes. They are not even in alphabetical order, they are simply in random order. Inside map we have a strict order, and this order is just an order of insertion, which actually means this pair foo is the first one, then we have bar, and then we have pair 1. If here we write map.set and we're providing here bars, with value bars, then it comes on the last position, and this is exactly how we can add new values to our map. If we are working with object and we want to know how many keys do we have, we typically use object.keys or object values, and we are passing inside our object, and then we are taking length. In this case, we know how many pairs we have inside our object, and in our case it is 2. This is obviously calculation, and map does not need this calculation at all because it has the size inside. We can simply write here map.size and we're getting back 4 because we have 4 pairs. One more important difference is that map is iterable and object is not. If we want to loop through pairs of the object, we typically read keys or values and simply render the value. Inside maps we can do it differently. We can use, for example, for loop. And here we're getting access to the key and value, and we're using here of map. In this case inside, we can directly console log every single key and value. As you can see in browser, we're getting foo, bar, 1, and buzz. Sometimes we want to clone an object because we don't want to reference the same object inside memory. In this case, we typically create object2, and here we're using spread operator, where we're spreading the whole object. It will create a copy. But how we can do it with map? Here we can create map2, and we simply create here a new map, where inside we're providing our map. It will create a copy, but exactly like with object, it won't create a nested copy. It just creates the copy of the object itself. But if you really need a deep copy, then you might want to use structured clone function, where inside you can provide either object or a map. Also, it is really nice that with objects we can stringify them and parse, and we can't do it out of the box with maps. This is why in order to do that, we can use JSON stringify, but inside we want to provide array from, and inside I will write map.entries. As you can see in browser, we are getting exactly the same structure array of arrays. So what it does, map entries returns for us an iterable array, and then we're using array from to convert it to array of arrays, and then we can stringify it just like normal array. Obviously this is not that comfortable compared to the object. Or we can do that in another way by using object.fromEntries, and here inside we're providing our map. As you can see, it looks differently. Now it is looking exactly like we expect to see stringified object. This is correct brackets, and then we have key value parse, which actually means this construction, object from entries, converts our map to the object. It is important to mention that map works better when you have lots of deletion and addition to your object. If you don't have that, then the difference in performance will be not that huge. And the last thing that I want to show you is what we need really often. We want to convert our object to array, so we can use things like map, filter, which are more comfortable to do than to do them with object. And in order to do that with map, we can use again array from. Inside we're providing our map, and as a second parameter we're providing a function where inside we're getting access to key and value, and now inside we can return whatever we need to. For example, here let's make it a string with key space value. And now this I want to save inside result property, and let's check what we're getting back. As you can see in browser, we're getting a nice array with 4 strings. This is exactly the array that we can use later to apply filters, reduce, or whatever you need. So here are main differences between object and map. First of all, map works better on a huge amount of data. Secondly, inside map you can provide any key that you want, but realistically we always use string, and it was enough for us. From my own experience, I am using map not that often, and I highly prefer to use objects everywhere because it is more comfortable. And if you are interested to learn how to work with query parameters inside JavaScript without any libraries efficiently, make sure to check this video also.